Yes, sir. I guess I have a dating advice question.
Yeah.
Coming out of a 4 month relationship, got serious, um, broke up 2 weeks ago with kind of minimal explanation and no real ability to talk through things.
Oh,
And
I mean, what happened?
we,
Did you get ghosted? Like, you just how'd she do it?
so I've gone out to, it was a long distance relationship. We'd been traveling to see each other a whole bunch. And so I'd gone out to her place for a week, and 3 days in, she dumped me and said she just wasn't feeling like we were thinking in person the way we did online,
Yeah.
and wasn't willing to give any more explanation. And kind of in like a couple weeks before, I could tell things were off, but
Oh, you could.
um, even then, I was trying to like, see what was up, talk about things, and she was
Oh, you
just
did.
kind of avoiding, telling me to be patient and work through things. And but
But
yeah, so
you
she
were
never,
a couple
never
of
really.
weeks prior, you were bringing it up. It seems like you've changed, or you're not talking as much. What's going on? You were asking her
Yep.
questions,
Yeah.
and she would avoid it.
Yeah. She was just like, well, I'm just not ready to talk about it right now. Just be patient with me. I'm just working some things out.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I assumed at some point we would actually have a conversation about whatever was on her mind. And I
Yeah.
tried to just kind of be patient and give her space. Um,
Yep.
and that conversation never happened. I was just informed things were over, and as I asked for more detail, just wasn't given any.
Ah.
And I guess part of like we spent a lot of time early on talking communication styles and personality types, et cetera, just so at least in my mind, in theory, we could, navigate misunderstandings or challenges when they arose and at least have a shot to talk through them. And when it was time for rubber to meet the road, it never really happened.
Yeah.
And so
It's sort of, a lot of
both
times
kind of
things sound
wondering,
good in theory, and somebody doesn't possess the ability to what they would aspire to.
sure,
Sort of like people sign up for a gym membership in January online, and then third week of January, it's all over. It's kind of what sounds like she did. Oh, I want all this open communication and all this. Well, January 23rd, let's have that conversation. And she didn't go to the gym.
yeah. So both like wondering how to kind of process and get closure from this one, and but then also like how do you lay enough groundwork in the future to know that it's worth really trusting and opening up to somebody again if like I felt like we were laying groundwork, but it didn't really seem to mean or do anything. Were there
Yeah.
more important questions or tests or something to be
Yeah. That's a
explored?
really, it's a really, really good question. And I'm going to give you the bottom line, and then you can dial back from there. But the bottom line is time and experience. The formula for finding out what's really in something is called time and experience. Because you don't see what's in a person until you go through various kinds of experiences over time. This is why I always say, don't fall in love fast and make any big decisions. It's a drug trip, and you might be right, but you could be really, really wrong. And let me give you an analogy. I'm a boater. I have been my whole life. I grew up with boats, and I love boats, and was always on lakes. And when I moved to California, I worked and worked and worked and did all this stuff and finagled away to get my first ocean going vessel, and then I got rid of that one. And then I got my first one that had some size to it, and I was so excited. What I didn't know is all the boats, Finley. Sorry about that. Can you hear my dog? She's maybe you could take her to check out your next date. She's got it. She's intuitive. She knows if something's not okay. So anyway, the first time I got a real, significant ocean going vessel, right? All the boats I had ever had, you just, you check them out and the thing works, and But when you make a significant, this is sort of like a big deal, right? Well, you do all these inspections, but then you have what's called a sea trial. And the sea trial is sort of like a test drive, when you buy a car, but it's much more significant than that. The sea trial, you got to go out and you got to find a lot of different kinds of waters. Like this thing might be fine in the harbor, but what happens when, an 8-foot swell comes along? Does it just, you can't even stand up anymore? So we're trying it in different kinds of waters. Well, in dating, see, when you're online with her, that's one kind of experience, right? And in the harbor, when there's no waves, yeah, it was fine. But she got into a little bit of choppy water, if you will, which a relationship's going to do. That's a different experience. And over time, you learn something. So, what I'm saying is, in the future, which you did here, okay, thank God you didn't get married, right? Some people do that in 4 months, right? But you got to get in a lot of different kinds of experiences. This is why I say to people, take them to visit your family if your family is even safe for you to be around. Take them, take them to work party. Now in COVID, this is a little more difficult, but you want a lot of different experiences because you get to see how this person behaves in a variety of circumstances. And that's really, really important because different circumstances pull out different parts of people. So that's going to be the bottom line. All right. So the other thing I would tell you is this, that when you, what would be the best way to explain this? Well, it's probably a variant of what I just said, but I think that the bottom line is you don't want to get serious too fast. And you were checking it out, you're having experiences, and you're not clairvoyant. You can. Did you see any yellow flags before this?
No. A lot of things were syncing up, and seem to be aligning. Obviously, like the refusal to kind of communicate and talk through things is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
But
was
no,
she,
a lot of
just did you see any?
What we enjoyed and.
Yeah. What about disagreements? Things where she would have a different opinion than you. Was she straightforward with those in the previous interactions? Would she go, well, I don't think that.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
We could talk through things. She's a lot more introverted and reserved. And so, I can kind of just come right out with stuff.
Yeah.
And so, it's a learning, like, I get between personality types being more patient, or some personality types need a little more patience.
Yeah.
But there still needs to be
there still needs to be an ability to be straightforward. So if you're talking with somebody that's, quote, introverted and takes what I would want to know from them is, look, I don't care if you need time to process something, but I just care that you're going to tell me. I'm not a mind reader. I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm reading minds, and I would just, I'd make that part clear. So that's kind of here. And here's the other thing I would say, Jason.
What kind of flags or whatnot should you be looking for before you get more serious in a relationship? Or
hold on one second, because I want to say one thing before I forget it. On your question about closure, forget it. You've got it. Okay. You have all the closure you need. You're with somebody that you wanted to go forward, she didn't, and for whatever reason, she made that decision and she was indirect about it, and you're with somebody that's not going to tell you the whole story. So when you have it that way, I was with somebody that is not forthcoming didn't want to tell me everything, whatever. That's ultimately not what I want. I'm moving on. So who knows the reasons behind the reasons behind the reasons? It may be an ex-boyfriend came into the picture. It may be she's got a commitment phobia. It may be that she thought about it and you weren't exactly what she was looking for. I mean, that's part of dating. We all have run into that from both sides, right? But we'll never know. We'll never know. But you have enough closure in knowing, but I was with somebody that I liked, and she, for whatever reason, she went the other way, and she's not straightforward with it. And that's all I need to know. I was with somebody that's not going to give me the reason, and I don't like that anyway, so I'm down the road. Can you do that?
I'll have to work on that.
It'll drive you crazy if you don't, because you're going to be hypothetically, look. No, I'm dead serious. You can drive yourself silly trying to get closure if somebody's not going to be able to move on until you know everything. You know everything you need to know. You're dealing with somebody who doesn't talk to you, doesn't give you the real reason. End of story. Move on. Get on down the road, or you'll drive yourself nuts. What color hair do you have?
Black.
Black? All right. How about this one?
Yeah.
How about this one? She had a babysitter when she was 5 years old that had body odor, that had black hair. Okay. And now she's got a I'm dead serious. She's got a classically conditioned get away from this person emotional response, unconscious, that she doesn't even know about, because you symbolically represent, because that time her parents were going through hard times and her home was disrupted, and now black hair turns down her moving towards affection. Okay, it literally could be that, and she doesn't even know. And she loved everything about you, but she gets close to black hair and something shuts down inside. She goes, I don't know, I guess I'm really not interested. I don't know. You don't know. It could be that, but we'll never know. We'll never know. So don't let her hold you back, man. Get on down the road and have a good life. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. And in terms of, signs, go to boundaries.me, sign up for the free trial, and go look at my course in there. And it's called Your People Picker is one of them. And also look at the course on safe people, because what you're looking for in somebody is you're looking for personal qualities, their ability to regulate themselves. Okay. What sort of equipment do we have here, right? In their head. You want somebody that's stable and able to do mature things, right? But you're not just looking for somebody like that. You're also looking for somebody that interpersonally is able to do things in the relationship that turn you into the best one of you that there can be. And there's that chemistry and dynamic in every relationship that some people, it's like they turn you into a better version of yourself, and some people don't. So there's a lot of stuff like that in there. I'd encourage you to take a look. Okay. Got to talk to some other folks, but thank you for your call, and have a good cry. Go out with some buddies and bemoan this for one night, and then say, you know what? There's a lot of good women out there. How's that?
Sounds like a plan. Appreciate it.
Okay. Have a good one.